a friend's tale. Additionally, he resembles my opponent. But I've always admired him. He outperforms me in everything. But we were brothers. Please call him William and his wife Jane for privacy. Names are fake. Now, fast forward. At 23, William married Jane, now 25. They had a boy. Everything went well when they met on a walk. Good woman and slick talker Jane. She supported my wife with breast cancer. My wife considered Jane her older sister. William never complained about her. But a year ago he said Jane is cold and protective of her phone. He reported no sex in over 6 months. And his attempts to initiate intimacy were met with resistance. She returned home at 4 a.m. on their wedding anniversary. I told him she was undoubtedly seeing someone because there were several red flags. Since he had suspected it for a long time but refused to acknowledge it, it persisted. She rarely visited my wife. I told my wife about his illness, and she agreed to hint at it. I learned from my wife that she is seeing a platonic technician after our undercover talk. The outcome was obvious to me and my wife. I informed William of the incident, but he assured me Jade would never do that. My girlfriend. She wouldn't? I advised him to engage a private investigator to secure our safety. He hired a private investigator, but no suspicious activity was detected. A photograph was made after 3 months. He has nothing else. The snapshot showed her holding the hand of a theater exiting man, so he called me to discuss. He appeared disorganized, as if he had lost everything. What did I do wrong? He questioned, grinning. I know he's suicidal. My companion and I drank ourselves to death in a bar. He confessed, she was not what I expected. Our son is her only concern, and she would never do chores for more than 3 months. Her only gift is a forehead kiss before and after bed. She says she is tired or needs space. How should I proceed? I knew he was broke. I reassured him he was not alone and helped him build a strong mind over several days. He had many male supporters and friends. He eventually decided she wasn't worth it. So he met a woman at work outside the marriage. We were employed by the same company but in different departments. They were digital artists. So Will met Helena. He was much older than her. He told me, I'm going to enjoy my life. She was model-like. Like video game spies, multiple hookups and couples. He wasn't worried about Jane and felt happy. Something changed when Jane saw him smiling and felt he was distant. So she asked me if Will was seeing anyone and how he was. But I lied. She confessed to her husband on Christmas that she had been having an affair for almost a year. She knows how important their marriage is, and how great Will is. Will hid his tears and asked the facts. After admitting it was a mistake, she said we can be together again. He asked her to go since their relationship was over and he needed a divorce. At her mother's house, she called and texted all day. Will opened a second account, moved his funds there, and opened accounts with many new institutions. Half of the joint account withdrawal went to her. She shouted and begged him not to divorce. Jane tried suicide and convinced Will she would do anything, but Will had already moved on. Because she needs him, she'll do anything. He didn't even visit her in the hospital. After being released, she told him everything at his place. Claimed he needed clarification, asks her to speak. There's no second chance because she lied. After telling him he was a local mechanic, she felt lonely and wanted to relive her childhood. She met him after her automobile broke down. They swapped numbers. It became sexual after a month. It was hot and steamy. He asked where she was on their son's birthday and anniversary. She said she was having sex with him and was late to wish their son a happy birthday because she was working. She traveled with her affair partner on her anniversary and had many sex sessions. She took him to an apartment. Astonished, Will called her by name from A to Z. We can be dad and mom again when she apologizes and thinks about her son. He regrets meeting her and is tired of her. He's done with her. She gripped his legs and begged him to stay. That she will do anything for her affair partner is pointless. Jane's 27-year-old affair partner ditched her a week before Christmas. Will and I knew she loved her affair partner. Will reunited with her after much persuading and counseling. Not because he loved her, but due to necessity. Adultery does not qualify for divorce in our country. Hard evidence is needed. Without proof, you're done. You need hard evidence to beat her in court. Will lacked proof. He was continuously thinking about Helena. He had different ideas. Rules were made. Her only option was to accept. Her chores include house cleaning and laundry. She must follow his orders or go. Always up for sex and willing to do whatever he asks. He should know her phone number, email, account info, and password. He was cold to her. After sex, he kicks her out and says, "This is my bed, you can sleep in the guest bed." He often comes home late. He shouts at her by name and chastises her for minor faults. She found Helena and challenged him, but he said the door was open and she could leave. Jane often visits my wife for marriage advice. Tips and suggestions from her. Our wife felt sorry for her. Jane told my wife that Will never lets her sleep in the same bed and rejects her often. Once, she dressed up and approached him, but he mocked her and ordered her to grow up. She's messed up. Feel sad for her. Will often tells his girlfriend that his wife is inferior due to her age. When she learns Will is going on a business trip with Helena, things get worse. Will told her he is not her after it broke her. They're friends now. I knew what they were. We were supposed to bring our wives to work parties. Jane was excited, but Will said, we need to work things out, so he went single. He was always with Helena. She understood, and they were like a pair. They perform all couple duties. Will told Helena and me he would leave Jane after his son turned 18. His cruelty to her. Mental abuse, not physical. If she doesn't clear the table, he'll assume Mr. Mechanic will. If she doesn't act in bed, he blames her for her infidelity and guilts her. I don't know the outcome. He probably stayed for his son. Though he doesn't care about money, he's ruthless with Jane. It's been like this. Jane seeks comfort from my wife. Let's hear from the community. Acketman says, I despise cheating as much as anyone, but this is simply wrong as I saw in the comments. It's unfair to say she triggered his abuse. The justification is like a cheater blaming their lover for infidelity. Jane, a dirty cheater, deserves divorce. Will is a vile cheater. Retribution cheating is no better, but it includes emotional harm. Ultimately, they deserve each other. Two broken people who are equally horrible. I'd rather they stay together and ruin each other's lives than split and hurt more people. Helena is seeing a married man, allowing us to present broken and nasty person 3. I think broken people are passed around until smart people weed them out. After enough clever and reasonable people filter it away. Broken people encounter another broken person and form a toxic bond. It's one reason so many codependents are in violent or cheating relationships. The smart ones ignored early red flags. Lunatic. Lemon's comments next. I understand that she messed up big time, but why don't they live apart? They don't have to divorce. She can get an apartment while their son travels. Why use her for sex? That's demeaning. It seems odd to EFF his wife like a prostitute and then sleep with Helena. Not happy with your new partner? Why does he abuse his wife, belittling her repeatedly, and then doing the same to her? A high road doesn't appear. Both seem effed up and should divorce. What is the current consequence of their son witnessing their father disrespecting his wife and mother? Unforgivable. That kid will suffer forever. UB1 Kenobi calls it tragic. This story only makes me feel sad for her child. Their child is watching. Op. Does your friend realize this will hurt his child? How is he treating his mother? I know she deserves karma, but what about the poisoned environment? It's bad for their child. He should divorce for his child. They need individual therapy now.